Unconditional love came in the form of a 90-pound German Shepherd named Roki. I didn't realize it at the time that he would become my greatest teacher. Flashback to my marriage, I desperately wanted to have a dog and a card game that lasted till 2 a.m., where I finally won that right. I thought I was going to get this nice English Spaniel from a local breeder, but my then 8-year-old son Adam had other ideas. When he went back for the summer to visit his grandparents in Morocco, he fell in love with their guard dog. He would sleep every night in a room where he could put his hands through the window to touch his dog. They slept just a few feet apart from each other, and the bond was formed. When his grandparents told him he couldn't take that dog back home, they found Adam holding Roki on a leash at 3 a.m. in the garden, prepared to run away. At that point, they finally agreed to let him keep him, and I flew over to meet Roki. I'd never had a dog before, and I was a bit unprepared for this fierce, protective German Shepherd that everyone was scared of. But when I looked in his eyes, and I saw him with my son, I knew I would do whatever it took to give him a home. Adam and Roki flew into Canada. You could hear that dog's howls throughout the airport. Everyone stared at us as his crate was brought over, and I wondered what I'd gotten myself into. I remember the first time Roki realized people could love animals, and the look of hope that came into his eyes. Those eyes. He had the saddest eyes I had ever seen, and watching love transform this dog healed me. I was able to make peace with the country that I had so many wounds from. I knew in my heart that I had rescued at least one animal from that place. Through my divorce and all the years as a single mother raising a child, he was my rock. He stayed when the others came and went. I never worried about anyone getting too close to the house. I was always safe with him. He wasn't always the easiest dog to love. He didn't like other animals. He wasn't the kind of dog I could take to soccer games, or walk around in crowds, or take in the car. He would wait until someone passed the car to start barking so they would jump extra high. He also got carsick very easy, which made traveling or going to the vet extra fun. But I loved him unconditionally. He gave me 13 years, beautiful years, and when it was time for him to move on, I needed a way to honor the amazing love that I felt for him. Just before Thanksgiving of 2012, he took a turn for the worse. This time, when I brought him into the vets, they told me it was time to consider his health and what were my plans if he didn't get better. This scared me, and I begged and pleaded with him to give me just 3 more months. Those were the most precious months I'd ever received. The medicine worked, and he was like a puppy again. And for a brief moment, I thought that I had beaten time. But death comes to all of us, and he was not going to be an exception. I went through all of the grief around what I felt like was playing God. I didn't want to have to be the one to decide. What if it wasn't time? What if he still had more years in him? When the 3 months were up, he took his final turn for the worse, taking the choice out of my hands. I called the vet to make arrangements. I'd always had a deep connection with this dog, and I was not going to take the coward's way out. In honor of everything he meant to me, I chose to find the courage to give him the gift of passing that he deserved. I chose to focus on creating a ceremony to honor his life and his final passing, and in my grief, I was able to create the most beautiful of celebrations that left all of us involved transformed. I hope to help you do the same.